Well, hello everybody, welcome to and welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark, and we're joined, of course, by the indomitable Randy Ray from the Literate Texan. Do check out his already. And today's special guest is Greg, who you may or may not know, but he has a channel called Another Bibliophile Reads, and you should definitely check out his channel too. You probably already have, though, because I imagine there's overlap. And Greg, you've done really well recently, by the looks of it. Last time I looked, so
yeah, my channel had a growth spurt during the summer, and it's sort of fallen back. I know you like to talk about success on BookTube and what makes BookTube successful, and so I guess you can just start. You want to wait for people to show up, or just start right in with my big?
Yeah, we can wait a little bit for them to
let's hold off. Just a little bit.
Good move in there.
Yeah, I want to do the usual. What have we been reading? BS at the beginning.
It's up to you, buddy. I don't mind.
I finished Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson yesterday. Have y'all read anything from him? I liked it.
What's it about?
Yeah. Short stories.
Oh, yeah, it's a collection of short stories. They're very modern. They're very hip. They're about drug addicts, drug addiction, and alcoholism, and the seedy underbelly of society, and how those people still have feelings. But and I say those people with all due respect. I'm a recovering alcoholic myself, so. But yeah, it was an interesting book.
He's Alan really likes Dennis Johnson.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah. I can see how this was the first time I'd read anything from him, and I was really I had no idea what to expect. I was just looking for something different to read for Shorty September, and that was I didn't do 30 books in 30 days. That was book number 19 for me.
It's good going though.
19 books is a lot.
I did do 30 books in 30 days.
Yep.
Myself for that.
Well done, by the way.
Honestly, it was daunting, but it felt very rewarding yesterday when I posted the last one, and I think it was actually one of the best events I've done, really. But I don't think I could keep it up over October as well or anything like that. But I'm glad I did it, and I'll do it again next year for sure, definitely. Although next year I will not be as strict to myself, and because this time I wanted to kind of read books I actually have here and not ebooks. And I think if I do it next year, I will read ebooks because I'm probably running out of short books anyway. So, but yeah, it was great. It was great.
One of the videos I have planned this month is for Victober, and the question is, can you read all the major Victorian novels in a year or less?
No.
Well, it just depends on. It depends on how many Victorian novels you think are canonical.
Okay.
If you could narrow the list down to 50 or so novels, you could read a novel a week. It'd be a lot of reading, though.
You would? Okay, and 50 is doable.
Yeah. And I think depending on the source, I saw one source that had about 75 novels that would be considered canonical. So, it's going to be close, but it'll make for an interesting video because I can talk about the average number of books that people read and average number of pages per day. And in comparison, this is what you'd have to do to read all of these. And also the reading speeds are really different for Victorian novels.
Oh, yeah.
Dickens reads a lot differently than Conan Doyle.
I mean, I don't know whether it's because it's there's a few years between them, of course, but I don't know. Like, I can never remember with Vanity Fair. I know it's set in the Georgian / Regency period, but I don't know if he writes it in Victorian period. But I mean, it's a big book to try and do in a week if you've got other things to do, though. If you think of Vanity Fair as canonical, but I think
Victorian novel.
Sorry?
Almost any Victorian novel is going to be a lot to do in a week. They average between 500 and 900 pages.
I know. I wouldn't want to read.
There are some shorter ones.
There are.
Yeah. But if you're talking about the big famous ones,
the big famous ones, okay.
If you want to experience the big famous canonical ones and do them all in a year, what would it take? You can do it, but you really have to devote yourself to it.
How many of those would be considered? How many Dickens books are on that list?
10 or 11.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's half of them, you know. I mean, that's half of Dickens's novels, 19 and a half novels.
I'm curious. I'm just kind of doing a quick Google, see what it says for essential Victorian novels. If it gives me some kind of list, because I am curious what they put out. See, they put on things here like Jane Eyre, yeah, North and South. Jekyll and Hyde would be easy, of course. Vanity Fair is long. Copperfield's long. Oliver Twist is okay. Study in Scarlet's okay. Pride and Prejudice is not Victorian, is it? So I don't know why that's there.
What comes right before Victorian?
Regency. Jordan. Yeah. Well, I suppose here, look, you've got Penguin has published a list of 20 novels that shaped the Victorian era. See, that would be
there you go.
That's better.
That would be easy to do in a year.
Yeah. Jane Eyre, David Copperfield, North and South, Wonderful Adventures of Mrs. Seacole in Many Lands, which I've actually read. Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Daniel Deronda, Jekyll and Hyde, Study in Scarlet, Three Men in a Boat.
All right.
Get in there. Whoop, whoop. Test of the D'Urbervilles, Picture of Dorian Gray, Diary of a Nobody is also good fun. Trilby by George du Maurier, The Jungle Book, The Time Machine, Dracula, Crimson Petal, Fingersmith. Yeah, I mean those you could do. Could you do those in a month?
Not a month, a year.
No, but I mean, could you do those in a month? It's 20. I mean,
if I did nothing else,
pretty long. But I don't know if the others are not that long though. I mean, I think Daniel Deronda's not super long. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland isn't very long. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde you could read in an hour or so.
Study in Scarlet short.
3 Men in a Boat's under 200 pages. You know, so it's
I think that's a very representative list.
I think you could manage that in a month. 20 Victorian books in a month. So who's going to do it?
Right, there you go.
Not now, anyway. Maybe next.
Now, what's going on in the chat? Do we have any guests yet?
No one's turned up. They're like,
no viewers yet, huh?
Randy's here again. No, we're not turning up.
There's plenty of people in the chat.
We do have a few. So Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Indie author Jill's back. Good to see you. Hello, all. Happy Wednesday. I'm currently reading The Barrel Street Murder. It's fantasy murder mystery. An immortal elf detective tries to figure out why someone is summoning demons into her world. That reminds me, Jill, how did your live go yesterday? Unfortunately, I was otherwise engaged. I wasn't able to catch it, but I know you were planning on doing one, unless I can't remember if you said Tuesday or Thursday. If it's tomorrow, I'll make it. But Helen's here. Hello, happy October. Levon is here. Hello, guys. Helen, great job on Shorty September, Mark. Fantastic effort with working full time. Thank you very much. Congrats on 30 books in 30 days. Thank you. I'm finishing off Lord of the Rings this week. A bit early then. Game of Authors, great name. I'm finishing up The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, my first book by him. Very good. Have you guys read it? No, I haven't. I keep meaning to.
And I'm meaning to reread it this month. Maybe. I was going to read it this month, definitely, but I've switched over to Dracula. So I don't know if I'll get a chance to get to Women in White this month.
Yeah, I saw Randy's post about Dracula for the Lone Star Book Club and whatever, and I was tempted, but it's not that long ago since I read it, so I don't know. And I do want to do M.R. James, and actually I was looking at either The Woman in White or Moonstone, I think.
Moonstone. Those are the only two Wilkie Collins I've read.
Mike's here. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. Hi, all. Love the 30 and 30 mark. Well done. And I'm not the one disliking every day. Yeah, I've got this. I was telling Randy about this last week. There seems to be somebody who, and I'm assuming it's one person because they come on, they dislike 3 of those. You know, maybe they've missed a day, so they dislike 3 in a row. And I noticed it because I do. You know, I have the stats in front of me when I'm on there. and someone's gone through and just this one dislike on almost every short that I've done. So I decided because a few people said to me, it's a shame that I'm stopping the daily shorts. And I thought at the beginning I was a bit put off by dislike, but now I've started doing spite shorts. You know how Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm opens up his spite shop? I'm going to continue doing a short every day of every book I own to spite the person who has been disliking me. I know it's pathetic.
I have a chronic disliker too. Almost all my videos have one dislike.
Yeah, it's so petty and pathetic, isn't it?
I mean, it could be just people not liking it random, but I think I've pissed off someone and they just go and dislike everything.
When it's chronic like that, and especially when you know, like, especially when they've grouped together, it's like that person has literally gone looking for it. And you think, well, it's weird because the guy or gal is probably subscribed to you in order to dislike them. Or when they come across you, they go back to dislike more of your videos. It's such a weird thing.
But the algorithm considers that interaction and good.
Yeah, I know. I'm really over it in that respect. But
I'm sure it's a Trump supporter that's disliking my stuff, but you never know.
Hey ho, might be the same person though, Greg.
It could be.
Maybe that'd be kind of fun. Let's see, what have we got here? Levon says, you guys or Greg should invite Jack the Rambling Rapper to a live stream. Yeah, he's wonderful. I do like Jack. Yeah, we'll have to get him on, Randy, but I don't know about the time. That's an issue as well.
I know. I was talking to Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, and she's actually not available in the morning. She's available in the evenings or on the weekends. So we may have to do a special edition for her.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later because I had a question I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, I'm absolutely happy on, but I wasn't sure when you said the morning you meant hers or mine. That's what I was.
I have the times backwards. So yeah, and anytime I'm talking about time, I'm talking about my time.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm egocentric that way.
Yeah. So we could just put RRST, Randy Ray Standard Time.
Randy Ray Standard Time. They ought to have something like that.
Oh, good on you, Mike. Have you read it before? I really like Vanity Fair. I read it last year. So it's for me, I mean, it must be inspiration for Gone with the Wind to some degree. It really must be. The live went okay. We had about 6 people join and 4 engaged in the chat. So that's not bad. Some of the authors selected are just now finding out their book was selected. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if you know Greg, but indie author Jill, she's an indie author, of course, but she champions also other indie authors. And she's undertaking a challenge next year, I think, to read 100 independently published books, I think. So
okay.
Oh, now that's a cool challenge.
Yeah. We should definitely get her on. She's very interesting, very good on the camera, I have to say. So I have your live saved, Jill. Looking forward to some new titles. Dislikes are still engagement. Yeah, exactly. What's with the dislike is so bizarre. I don't like. If I don't like, I click off. I think a lot of people do, but then sometimes it has been something political. I don't know. If Nigel Farage, who's like, if you know who he is, he's a populist guy in England. If he comes on, I might sometimes click that, dislike.
I've done it once or twice to a channel I like mostly. He mostly does political, or he did do political comment.
Oh, and it's not Charlie Kirk, was it?
And no, he's a liberal. He's a liberal political comment.
When you use the past tense, I was worried.
But he started talking about boulderization. He says, I'm fine with that. Oh, no. What? And he got an immediate dislike from me. And I almost unsubscribed, but But he's one of those people say, oh no, you don't want to encourage that kind of so he's fine with changing texts.
Kevin's question. Kevin has a question for you, Randy. Hey Randy, I noticed on your last video you had a book with a huge swastika on the cover. Are you doing a buddy read with Steve Donahue or David Murphy?
I don't know. I don't know what book I would have with a huge swastika on the cover. Yeah, I have no idea.
Have to go back and watch.
I'm not buddy reading anything with this Steve Donahue or David Murphy, but yeah, no, I don't have anything in my library with a swastika on it. I'm not a big World War II reader or anything like that either. So I don't know. It's not impossible.
Yeah,
I'm at a loss. Sorry.
Never read Vanity Fair before. Day one went very well. I like Becky a lot. Yeah, I do too. And she's very much like Scarlett O'Hara, who I kind of like as well. Maybe it's that type of woman. I don't know, but a bit kind of feisty maybe. Jill says, I'm buying the 100 books. That's right. And then reading and reviewing them next year on my channel to help promote their books. I also welcome self-published authors sending me books to review. So there we go. If any self-published authors are out there, get in touch with indie author Jill. Check out her channel and send her your work. So we have quite a good crowd in here at the moment. Okay. So it might be.
Well, they all want to hear about how Greg has managed to manage these growth spurts on his channel.
That's right.
Okay.
I mean, what happened?
Well, what happened was it was earlier in the beginning of summer, beginning of late spring, somewhere around there. I was supposed to sit down and film a video about something I've been reading. I said, I don't want to do that. So I just came up with an idea that I need to put out a video, top of my head, said, let's talk about books people don't read anymore. They selected 6 books from my shelf that no one really reads anymore. You know, it started off with like John O'Hara was the one that sort of kicked it off. He used to be a strong contender for the Nobel Prize in Literature. And he wrote his famous book is Appointment in Samara. But no one reads his books anymore. So I made this video.
Sorry, Greg, I just want to ask, because is this something you actually just kind of went from like looking around and not seeing him, or is it something you researched and found out actually almost nobody reads him anymore? He's out of print.
Well, what I did is I looked on Goodreads to see how many reviews of the books were.
Right.
So, I mean, Goodreads has been around for a long time. He had like 500 reviews of his books, which is not huge.
No.
And so that's how I picked these 6 books that had less than 500 views, and some had like 10 or 13. So just off the top of my head, I decided I'm going to just make a video to make a video and throw it out there. No, I mean, it was just totally off the cuff. I put it out and it really went viral. As of today, it had 43,000 views, which if you were a big YouTube channel, that's not much. But for a small channel like me, that's pretty huge. And if I go in, let me see how many. I think I had a huge number of subscribers as well that got on that one. And one of the curious things was I don't think it was actually technically a very good video. You know, just because I just threw it out there. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, okay. Here, let me look in my analytics here. Edit. No, now I want to do analytics. Yeah. So my analytics of that video say 43.5 thousand views. I had 803 new subscribers from that video. So really wildly.
That's about what you'd expect. That's about 2%, right?
Yes. And I cannot say why the algorithm picked this video over any other video that I've done. Now, the one thing that I kind of wondered, it was very close to my 4th year anniversary on BookTube. I had mentioned a book about anti-authoritarianism, and I just figured that the algorithm picked that up and ran with it. It turned out the anti-authoritarianism really was not the algorithm's cup of tea. And I don't know what did it. Honestly, it just like it decided for some reason I'm picking this video and promoting them. Maybe
I had a mini, I mean, nothing like that. I had a mini situation on, I forget if it was Saturday or Sunday. It really surprised me because I get probably on those shorts, I get maybe 200 views average, probably over the course of a couple of days, maybe. And then I put out Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's Night Flight one, and I woke up, and just in the time from when I put it up and when I woke up the next day, or maybe later on in the morning, it had 1,500 views on it. And again, it's weird. There's no rhyme or reason to it to me, because it's like, you know, I don't know. Like I put up one on, I don't know, something else like Queen's Gambit or whatever. The same, you know, it's on pretty much almost the same time every day, because, you know, I'm on a pattern when I'm doing the 30 books in 30 days. And then just this one, and a weekend as well, when it's usually much quieter, suddenly, you know, it's saying, oh, you're getting loads more views than you normally get, and 1,500 views in, I don't know, 6 hours. Why?
It happens. Why? I often notice when I do like top 10 videos, those normally do very well. Like the algorithm likes list videos for whatever reason, rather than just like book review videos. It doesn't like as much. Individual book reviews never do as well.
So you got 800 new subscribers.
Yep.
How many of them are murderers?
I don't know if the pool is big enough. I think we were talking about this before the live began, that we have so many BookTube channels that there's an odds are that someone who's making videos is a murderer.
Could be one of us right here, right? Could
be.
Could be. You never know. Yeah.
And this came up because we were talking about the BookTube channel where turned out he was a pedophile and got arrested.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's mad. Well, we were mostly saying as well, you just don't know. Like we meet here, we meet through the channels, we have these relationships with people, like in our comments and stuff, but we forget that real life goes on for people, doesn't it? You know, people are facing financial problems, deaths in their families, or nearest and dearest, or whatever else, battles with illness and stuff. All this continues on, but it's not necessarily something that's at the forefront of our minds when we're interacting through something like this. So it's a weird thing. I want
to go back and talk a little bit about Greg's viral video.
Okay. We will come
I have
back.
a couple of comments.
Just want to go through the comments quickly before they run away
Mark
from me.
Doesn't like to let me talk.
It did not get hyped.
It's there's a slight delay, so I do apologize if I talk over you. Just put your hand up. Remember, I'm a teacher. Yes, you there at the back.
Oh, what's going on in the comments? I thought we were doing comments.
I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to say something. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a lot to say, but yeah, let's do the comments first.
Okay, right.
Sorry.
I think it was probably before that became a thing, wasn't it, Greg? The hyping thing.
Yes. No, the hype is on lives though, I thought.
No, you can. It's on some people's videos too. Summer's here. Hi there.
Hey, Summer.
She's admitting to being a murderer of fleas and mosquitoes. My favorite videos are book hauls and lists. I like to check off how many I have read. And then
I like to do that too.
Astra Fringe says, if the feds got their hands on Steve Donahue DNA, that would be 30 cold cases solved right there. Well, no comment.
Oh my heavens.
And Interpol might, Interpol, if you give it them, because he used to be a well-traveled man.
Yeah. But we know that these young men, they usually do return from the calzone and wine evenings. We've seen evidence of them returning. But then, of course, as we said, we've not seen Micah Cummins in a while. So, who knows?
Were there calzone videos after Micah disappeared? Because you don't know what you're eating.
It's a good point. What's in the wine or the calzones? I hope he knows we're joking. James is here. Hi, James. Greg went viral. Awesome.
Hey, James.
No, this is not the Broad Art video did slightly better than average.
And final comment will go back. Steve does have stories in the Reddit comments about the Odeon in Leeds. Yes, he does. So you have some questions for Greg, Randy. Shoot.
Well, I have some questions and some comments. One of the first things is what I've read. You know, I've watched a lot of videos about you know, how to succeed on YouTube, and one of the things that I think it's Mr. Beast, the real popular guy, says every time you say the algorithm, replace that with the word the audience, and it'll make sense. So if you say the algorithm likes top 10 lists, you know, the audience likes top 10 lists. Is the truth of the matter. And that does make sense. I know I generally would rather watch a top 10 list than a book review, but you know, I'm probably far from the normal guy. But what I was going to point out was, you know, after Greg told me about how viral this video had gone of his, I went and looked at it to see if I could reverse engineer it and create a viral video of my own. And I created a video. I tried to make it really close to it. It was a list of 6 books. I don't remember what the topic was. They weren't forgotten books or whatever. But, you know, I paid real close attention to the signals that he had sent in the video. And for example, he had used the numeral spelled out in the title rather than the numeral. So instead of 6, he used SIX. And so I copied it pretty slavishly. Also, he included a bunch of information in the description from Goodreads. And he had timestamps in there, which I don't normally do on my videos, but I did for this one. But the video that I made that tried to go viral, it didn't go viral, but it did wind up being one of my top 10 videos in terms of traffic, which is not insignificant. I've got over 250 videos on my channel. So there was something about the way that video was done that the algorithm likes. There was something that can be reverse engineered out of it.
I've tried to do it a couple times. Now,
Yeah.
it just so happens that tomorrow I'm filming a top 13 book video to go out.
Okay.
Week, so maybe that will happen again. Who knows?
Well, have you tried any more and seen them? You know, were they above average successful, or you know, 43,000 is a big one. I mean, I don't think my channel. I don't know how many page views my entire channel has for 2 years, but 43,000 would be a big chunk of it.
It would. I mean, I have done previous videos similar, and they all, or a lot of the times, they do much better. Like I can get to 1,000, 2,000 doing it, like top 10 horror books that I want to reread. That had like 5,000 views. And I did a series of books, and all those did okay, or say like into the thousands. So we'll see now. The one I'm doing for tomorrow is the top 13 anti-authoritarian novels.
Oh, very nice. Well, I think that one of the things that helped that video go viral, I think one of the things that the algorithm picked up on, and this is just a hypothesis, is the information that you included in the description from Goodreads about each of the books.
Could be.
Because I included information from, I don't remember where, Goodreads or Amazon or something like that about each of the books in my video too. And like I said, that video performed way above average for me. So there was something in terms of the presentation. There were some things about the presentation that are repeatable, at least to an extent.
I'm just, because I was curious, so I thought I would look at my own analytics. And it says in the last 28 days, and it might have something to do with Shorty September, even though I've ended the month with -2 subscribers. So I didn't even gain any subscribers throughout Shorty September. I have had 6,000 more views than usual over the course of the month. So I've ended the month on 12,000 views. And I think it's not bad, really, I guess. I mean, if it's more than usual. And in a lifetime, the views my channel has got is 240,000. So,
well, I have my analytics up on a different screen. And I'm not sure how you tell how many lifetime views you have.
At the top of the analytics, you have the little arrow which says last 7 days, last 28 days, and then it says lifetime.
Estimated review.
Top right on mine, under where it says advanced mode.
Advanced mode, yeah, all right.
And there's a little arrow drop down.
Year? Oh, we're doing monthly.
No, I should say lifetime, doesn't it?
No, I don't have a lifetime.
You don't have it where it says like 7 days, 28 days, 90 days, 365 days, and lifetime.
Oh, this is just for one video. So that's
yeah, no, just go to your analytics homepage and it says overview and it gives you the last 28 days by default. And then
analytics.
It's interesting to see the amount of money my channel's made over its monetized lifetime as well. I'm quite surprised by that. But
not a lot. I mean, I make some money, but it's not. I can do some book buys and stuff like that, but it's not like I'm going to quit my day job.
And well, yeah, quit your day job, right, Greg?
Well, okay, I'm retired, but if I had a day job, I still couldn't quit your day job with what I get paid.
Yeah, you're not going to give up your retirement for your YouTube income.
Now, also, I wonder if because we can talk about what makes videos really super popular.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to talk like the two, what I consider the two top performers in our corner would be Criminale and Michael K. Vaughan. They're just the two that always do well into the thousands of views with every video that they do. And first of all, they're both really smart. They both really know their subject. And they have an audience that likes their subject. And this morning, I was just checking through and it came up upon my feed. There was this young, pretty girl. Oh, I shouldn't say girl. She was a woman in her 20s, maybe 30s. But she normally does fantasy books, but she started talking about her top 10 science fiction books. And she had like 20,000 views already. Now, the problem is that's all of her fantasy viewers. Now, I could not do a fantasy channel because I don't have that knowledge depth to build it. Because if I start talking about fantasy books, it'd be like I read like one or two a year, maybe. But part of that is also success is that you have to have an audience that keeps coming back to hear what you have to say about your topic. Now, me, I don't have a real solid topic that I talk about. I'm eclectic. So one month I may be talking science fiction or horror or literature. And I think that actually limits my growth a little bit. Because if you're interested in literature and you see I'm talking about science fiction, you're just going to wander away and not watch my channel anymore. If you like horror and you see I'm talking about literature, you're going to wander away and not care because, oh, he's not doing horror. And I wonder if it'd be better because like Criminale has his like pulp horror, that kind of thing. Michael K. Vaughan is basically old science fiction and horror. That's his thing. So you have those audiences. And I wonder if it really helps to have a fixed topic that you talk about.
A niche.
A niche.
Mm. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it does.
Well, and you can niche upwards and downwards. You know, you do have a niche, and it's books, which is a sub niche of entertainment. Yeah. And science fiction is a sub niche of that. So, how far up and how far down do you want to niche?
Yeah. Now here's something when you talk about books, Randy. For whatever reason, I got videos from his dating channel about a woman talking to men about how to get women to go out on dates with you.
Okay.
And I'll make it real simple. She says there are a top 10 worst hobbies a man can have. and a top 10 hobbies a man that would make a woman not want to date him, and a top 10 hobbies that a woman would like to see in a man she's dating. Now, what is the worst hobby you could have that would make a woman not want to date you?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Golf.
Number one was comic books.
Comic book. That was close.
Close.
I was very
here's
close.
one that's near and dear to us. What's considered the best hobby a man can have for women who are looking for dates?
Dog walking.
Guitar.
You would be
Or
number 3 at
dancing.
guitar. Playing an instrument is number 3.
Okay.
Reading.
Number 2 is learning foreign languages.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
And number 1, reading.
Nice.
But where are all the women wanting to date a married 60-year-old retired man,
Well, I mean, look at Randy. He's free and single.
That's
Are they
true.
lining up out there?
I am, not bragging, but I am constantly surprised at how successful I am with women. And I do think that reading is one of the reasons that I am. Because, I live in a college town here in Texas, and the caliber of conversations with the majority of the men here are just different. But the last woman I dated seriously, we were out, and it was one of our first dates, and we had been friends for a while, and I had been suggesting that we date for a while, and we had dinner, and she was explaining to me on the ride home that she was having a really hard time finding men who checked all her boxes, especially on dating websites. Because she wasn't going to date a Republican. She wasn't going to date someone without a sense of humor. She wasn't going to date someone who wasn't well read. And I told her, I said, well, honey, I got to be honest with you. I'm checking a lot of your boxes here. I think maybe you should just date me. And she said, well, the only problem is I've never dated anyone as old as you are before. And I asked her, I said, well, how old do you think I am? And she said, well, aren't you 53? And I was like, damn. Because I was hoping that she thought I was older than that. And I said, yeah, I'm 53. I said, but how old are you? And she said, well, I'm 39. And I said, well, that's perfect, because I've never dated anyone as old as you are either. But anyway, yeah, it was a successful relationship while it lasted. I'll put it that way.
Let's check the comments. We've got quite a few in before we go back to Greg and Randy's relationship hour.
That's a show that people would tune in for.
Because I thought it was amusing that women like men who read.
I would like to I would like to see both top 10 lists. I'm fascinated by such
Just
things.
look it up on the internet. On the internet, YouTube, you'll find it.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I took my son aside when he hit puberty, and I told him, I said, I don't have a lot of advice for you, son, but I can tell you 2 things. You live here in Texas, learn to play guitar and learn how to country western dance. You will never lack for a date. You don't even have to learn to do both. Learn to do one or the other. Sorry, I'll let you get to the comments now.
No, I was actually just wondering if he was single or not. That was the thing after taking your advice. So
my son has an active dating life, but he did not take my advice. He didn't learn how to do either of those things.
you took the other Texas passion shooting, was it?
Probably, yeah. He's actually an accomplished chef. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cooking's popular too.
Yeah, cooking's popular.
Yeah, definitely, I could see that being popular. But the thing is, I think we have a fairly balanced audience, though, which is really nice, because we are 3 men on different sides of, middle age, let's say. So, no offense, Greg.
Well, I think we're all on the same side of middle age at this
in the
point.
middle. But I'm just curious, because I wonder what the women in the comments would say would be for them, whether reading is a top hobby. And I'm curious also what the gentlemen in the comments would think, is a top hobby for a woman. So feel free to add those in while I go through the comments. It'd be interesting to see. Astro Fringe says, see, the problem is I don't need my normal glasses so much now, but I am starting to need my reading glasses. So do a top 10 of your own book reviews. That will break the algorithm. I think that could be a good one to do. Summer asks you, Randy, did you release your video on the same day and time? This means this is the
my viral one.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't remember if I looked at that or not. That might have been one of the things that I looked at, and I think I probably did, actually. I think I released it on the same day of the weekend at the same time.
Can we actually see the exact time someone puts out a video?
I believe we can, yes.
We can somehow, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Greg,
pretty sure we can.
now become a trendsetter.
I was a trendsetter. It's passed me by.
I think you were a
I've had my
trendsetter
15 minutes thing.
way before you went viral, Greg. You were a trendsetter already, for sure. Mike, Greg, can't wait for the anti-authoritarian video. Sounds great. Summer says, I keep actually, it's easier to read it here. I keep losing subscribers, but I'm very happy with the ones I have. Greg, I think your eclectic reading is your channel's thing. I love your choices, probably, and have read several books because you spoke about them. Yeah, e.g. Bear. Now, I was going to say, Greg, one thing I think as well, in reference to your point about, and Randy's as well, about broadening and narrowing the niche, is maybe some of us can be defined by what we don't talk about. So I feel I'm fairly eclectic. You know, I'll have classics, non-fiction, whatever, but you probably will not get science fiction or fantasy on my channel. So maybe people know that it's a safe space, generally speaking. I will put up a trigger warning if science fiction gets mentioned. So, you know, I think that the people who are going to stay are staying because of personality. So it doesn't really matter what you do. It sort of becomes the people who are going to watch you anyway, trying to pander. That's just the reality of YouTube, though, in any regard, not a targeted criticism. Annie is here. Hello. The worst hobby is shooting. Hooray for foreign languages and reading. Helen is looking for reading and a sense of humor in a man. So, Randy.
I am single.
Indy or the Jill, reading and cooking are my top must-haves for a man. Nice. And if a man didn't like animals, that would be the end. That's a deal breaker, isn't it?
That would be a deal breaker for me if I were dating. If didn't like
if a man doesn't like animals, Greg.
Oh no, a woman for me would be a woman not liking animals.
Yeah. Randy, enjoyed your songs you posted the other day. How did those do compared to your regular content referencing Margaritaville?
Oh, you know, I didn't really pay that much attention to what kind of, you know, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to how many views they got or anything like that. I got some appreciative comments that made me very happy, though. But yeah, I didn't pay any attention to what kind of page views or anything like that I got, since they're such one-offs for me. I did learn something new. One of my videos had got flagged with a little tag, or it just says copyright underneath it. And it's because it's Margaritaville. It's a copyrighted song. And I went to find out what that meant. Do I need to delete it? Am I about to get in trouble? But it turns out that little copyright notice basically just means that if I monetize my channel, I don't get the monetization for it because it's a copyrighted song.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
I had one of those things on one of my Garbagus video. I used Strauss's Thus Broke Zero, you know, the 2001 thing. You know,
right? Yeah, very cool.
I got my 2001 music from archive.org, which is all public domain stuff. But I got hit saying this is copyrighted music. You cannot monetize this video. But I challenged it. I said, hey, this is a recording date. This is public domain. Best. And I won that challenge. So it was not monetized for the first 30 days, but they tracked it as if it were, and it wasn't a very popular video anyway. It got like 300 views, so I made 50 cents, something like that, you know.
I usually use Wikimedia.
I don't know Wikimedia.
Yeah, Wikimedia will create the Creative Commons licenses in Wikimedia. They have lots of old recordings of music. That's why you often see like weird jazz versions of old Gilbert and Sullivan songs and things, you know. So, yeah. Annie, Indie Author Chill, I would say that too, but my husband doesn't read a lot and only cooks on the days I work. I didn't really think well enough about that when we met as teenagers. And Mike says, I'm also being told that my videos are a welcome distraction from what's going down out there. Yes. Yeah, we have our elections here actually on Friday and Saturday. So that's going to be a little bit worrying time because they reckon our version of, you know, some populist multi-millionaire / billionaire is going to win. So that's going to be
Czech.
Well, actually, yeah, it's the Czech elections, but actually he's Slovak, and he has a bit of a checkered past. He has been prime minister once before, but so yeah, it would be like a little bit like Trump. It would actually be his kind of second term coming in, but I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are worried about it. I think they're more worried because he might look more towards the east and Russia than to the west. So obviously, when you're geographically located where I am, that can be a little bit of cause for concern. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. And so you said you got a video coming out tomorrow, a top 10, top 30.
No, I'm making that tomorrow.
You're making it.
I'm making it. Probably release it on Monday.
Well, there we go.
But I did do a tag video, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
Mark and Randy, you're both tagged in that video.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But that actually leads into a point I was going to ask you, because so you are one for scheduling videos then? You have quite a few to go. I mean, how far in advance are you generally? Is it just a week in advance or?
It's usually a day in advance, sometimes two. I did do the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy yesterday, the day before. And I'm releasing it on Thursday because that is the anniversary of Gareth's and Dave's 42nd episode.
Oh, okay.
Which is why he's doing a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Because 42 is an important number to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I could have released it today. I didn't have a video come out today, but I decided I'm going to release it the same day they're going to do their live stream in celebration of their 42nd. So
who's their guest for this?
I have no idea.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But normally I kind of like having videos at least a day in advance, sometimes more, because it takes the pressure off of you. Because now I have this anti-authoritarian novels. I want to do a wrap up of my 30 short stories that I read in this month. I should actually do the 30 short stories tomorrow and release that Friday, and then Friday do the anti-authoritarian for Monday. So something like that. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to batch film. I know there are some people who really just film like 5 videos in a weekend and space them on out, you know.
Sometimes I do that. Sometimes if I have the time, I will do that. Because I notice, Randy, sometimes you make a couple of videos and you do often release them the same day. Well, you used to. Maybe not so much now. But
sometimes, yes. But sometimes I schedule them out too. I try to schedule them out now. I try not to sit down and make videos unless I'm going to make at least three at one time. I'm trying to be more efficient at using my time. But sometimes I'm just not able to pull that off.
I noticed you've definitely been up in the thumbnail game as well.
Yeah, I've been working on that. Well, you know, it's interesting, or I think it's interesting. If you look back over at my channel from the oldest videos to the news, you can see a clear progression of my growth as a thumbnail creator. Because originally I didn't do thumbnails at all. I just let YouTube pick a still from the video. then I got to a point where I would take a still from the video and then add some words to it. I don't even know what program I was using for that. And then eventually I started using Canva. Now mostly I use Chat GPT.
Chat GPT I've started to use. Now, the one thing I have with Chat GPT is that when you create a thumbnail, their thumbnails are too large, megabyte size. So you have to say reduce quality of thumbnail or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I still use mostly Canva right now.
Do you pay for ChatGPT, Greg?
I do.
You do.
Yeah,
Does it work?
Absolutely.
I utilize it enough to actually. I mean, it's $20 a month, so it's not like it's
the best $20 a month I spend.
Thing is, though, I went down the route of paying now. I've got the 3 months trial, but I will pay for it for Gemini.
What's Gemini?
Google's one, and it's because I already was paying for storage with Google, but Gemini has some really cool features, and there's this wonderful. If you have a Gmail account, you can use it for free anyway. There's this wonderful thing called Notebook LM. I don't know if you've come across it.
Never heard of it.
Right, it's wonderful because what it does, especially if you're a teacher or a student, I guess really if you're a booktuber who doesn't want to read the books properly or whatever, you could use it for this. But it's you can upload a PDF, right? You create a workspace, you upload the PDF to that workspace. Let's say it's a textbook on biology or whatever, and then instead of like what ChatGPT does, which will scour all over the place and think things up or whatever, this will only search the source that you've given it, which obviously sounds narrow, but if you are, if you're teaching about biology and you've got a biology textbook and you just put a PDF of Unit 1 on there, then you can create all sorts of amazing things just out of that. So it's a godsend. I have to say, as a teacher, it's a godsend. It's amazing. But you could use it for other things as well. So I thought I'd try the 3 month of that. And then, of course, that was included. The Gemini, which is their version of ChatGPT, I guess, is included. And it only cost me like $10 more than I was paying already for my storage. So that's why I was wondering. I still use ChatGPT for some things, but it's almost like the annoying thing is it's like the streaming services. These different AIs do different things better in certain ways than others, but you still end up feeling like you need to buy all of them to get the best out of it. So, but hey ho.
Well, I'm taking a different route. I'm in the content creation business for the internet, of course, like we all are, but literally that's what I did professionally for a long, long time, because I provided content for a number of blogs in the gaming industry, and mostly written content, not video content. And when ChatGPT rolled along, I was like, oh, golly, well, wow, it can write articles, but the articles are riddled with errors and the writing isn't very good. My human writers are still way better and the search engines are going to like it better. But as time has progressed, ChatGPT can now write an article that's probably about as good as anything I could write myself, and it can do it a lot faster. And I realized that if I were going to stay in the business, I just had to become more of an expert user than the other people using ChatGPT. That if I ignored it and pretended that it didn't exist, it wasn't going to work for me. And so I haven't expanded into other AI programs, but I've been laser focused on becoming a real expert on using ChatGPT. And I'm not there yet, but if you want to become an expert in using ChatGPT, it's great because you can just ask it, how do I become an expert at using ChatGPT?
Yeah.
But it's really amazing because I'll show you, it's like, this is the book I'm reading right now, The Exorcist, or rereading it. And I was listening to the audiobook at the same time. And I noticed changes in the audiobook version front to back. And then I had my Kindle version, and the Kindle version matches the audiobook version. And so I asked ChatGPT, what's going on? And apparently when he wrote this, he never really had time to revise his second draft. So on the 40th anniversary, they're going to republish it. He decided, I'm going to revise this 40-year-old novel. And most of it is stylistic. It's like she looked at her daughter in this book. And it's what Chris looked at her daughter. That's the character's name. Stuff like that. But there's one point I remember reading this before is I am fairly certain in this version, the priest is a latent homosexual. And I think that got edited out in the later versions. So once I get to this point in the original book, I'm going to go back to the audiobook and go back to the Kindle. Say, did he edit out this part? I mean, the thing is, it's not Bowdlerization because it's the author revising his own work. And ChatGPT actually gave a very good description that the author just, like I said, he wanted to revise a book. He didn't get a chance to do it the first time. And it's not, there's no major changes in the book. It's not a different book. It's just mostly stylistic, except for this, maybe he edited out being latent homosexual. I don't know.
Well, going right back to, for example, this this notebook LM, you reminded me of it, is you can actually put in the YouTube videos. And I think you can do that with the link for for ChatGPT as well. But remember, of course, Gemini, Notebook LM, it's all Google, YouTube is Google. So you can get it to do your transcript for you. If you want to put, for any video, you can get transcript for it if it's not up there already. If you want to do it for your own as well, it will absolutely immediately write down and record everything you've said. So if you want to put subtitles on, it will do it for you. But also you can, for example, Randy releases a video, I don't want to watch it, but I want to know what it's about. I can just stick the link in there and immediately it will just say, oh, Randy Ray talks about this, this, and this. And I don't know, I just think it's great. It's great. Obviously, I don't use it for BookTube, but it's great for me as a teacher to use it. Okay, there's a documentary from the History Channel on YouTube about pharaohs, and I want some, listing comprehension questions for the kids, and I don't have to sit and actually, spend an hour trawling through the video myself to make up the questions as I go. It will do it, and then, because again, it's on YouTube. I've not seen an error yet because I think it's just integrated so well. So, But a couple of comments, and I guess we're approaching finish time, I suppose. Okay. So Levon says, "Boo to AI, generative AI, that is." And Helen says, "Leave our books alone. No changes. They are of their time and should stay there."
I agree with her, but this was the author doing it to his own work. And nothing, who knows, But I hate it. Now, did I tell you about when I read the Martian Chronicles?
Oh, no, maybe not that one. But I know there was one you told me when you actually had to go in the bookshop.
Yes.
Was that James Bond?
That one too, but this is the Martian Chronicles.
Yeah.
I was reading the book, and they have a short story in the middle where they use the N-word quite frequently. And for whatever reason, I looked in my Kindle version, and the short story where that word is deleted from that version of Martian Chronicles. And they replaced it with a different short story. So your older versions of Martian Chronicles does not have the same list of short stories as the newer ones. However, if you go to Library of America, which is like a very prestigious publisher for American authors, they actually include both short stories.
Right.
But
and is that who's that? Is that Bradbury?
That's Ray Bradbury.
Yeah. I have the Everyman up there, I think, so I wonder if it's in there.
Well, you look at read the first sentence of the short stories in the middle, and if you come across the N-word, you have an older edition. And
I'll have a look and let you know.
Now, the thing is, it's not the best short story in the book, but it was poignant because Ray Bradbury was showing the inherent racism of the time, and that they were not treated right or fairly. And I think that's more important to include for that reason. then try to cover it up.
It's not the story when the black people moved to the moon or moved to Mars.
No,
is it?
no, the story was black people moving to Mars.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read that now, and I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, all right, I'll have to look it up. You know, I don't think it is. Well, I mean, the story was there, so I guess unless they removed the word.
No, well, the Kindle version that I have just removed the entire story and replaced it. Now, the thing is, I also did check the bookstores, and the newer editions match the Kindle version exactly. The story's just gone. If you go into a bookstore and buy the Martian Chronicles now,
it's in. I think it's. I want to say it's in my copy of the Illustrated Man.
That I don't remember.
Because Europe and Britain and America have different versions. So we have different versions of what stories were in the Illustrated Man, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure I must have read this in there. Sorry, Andy.
Now we're going on a hunt.
Completely off topic, but Saul Williams. No, I'm sure it was in here. I read it, but I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do because I doubt it. I don't know if anyone else.
It doesn't matter. It's just
anyone else is interested. Probably not. We can look when we go off offline. But I guess unless Randy has anything to add, I guess we can call it an evening.
I have two things to add.
Right.
Number one, my book club is hosting a read along of Dracula for the month of October. This is also a Victorian novel, so it counts for Victober too. And if you want to participate, we are having a discussion on Voxer. So hit me up on Voxer if you want to become part of the Voxer group and read Dracula with us. That's number one. Number two, James from Quaint and Curious Volumes and I are hosting a new show once a month on Sundays called Cinephile Sundays. And this Sunday night, we'll be discussing Casablanca.
Oh, good film.
So tune in for that if you're interested in listening to a couple of old men talk about a couple of old movies.
Yes, definitely. And do check out both Randy and Greg's channels. So the literate text for Randy and another bibliography for Greg. So there we have it. Thank you ever so much, as always, Randy, and a special thanks to you, Greg, for coming along.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thanks, Greg.
Okay, all the best, everyone. Have a great day, night, wherever you are. See you soon.
Adios, amigos.
Well, I'm waving, but you can't see.